El conversatorio REDES es un proyecto basado en los Objetivos de Desarrollo Sostenible de la Agenda 2030 de las Naciones Unidas, los cuales buscan erradicar la pobreza, proteger el medio ambiente y asegurar la prosperidad para todos. Su objetivo es incentivar, mediante mesas de análisis, la solución a problemáticas globales que nos afectan hoy en día por parte de líderes nacionales e internacionales. Algunas de las universidades participantes son la Escuela de Nueva York, la Universidad de los Andes de Colombia, el TEC de Monterrey, la Universidad Autónoma de Nuevo León, la Universidad Francisco Marroquín y universidades de India y China. El conversatorio empieza el 21 de septiembre del 2021 a las 9 a.m. con nuestra conferencia estelar. Se presentarán 9 mesas de diálogo durante los meses de septiembre, octubre y noviembre, con una duración de 1 hora cada una. En cada mesa de diálogo se contará con un moderador y 3 expositores. Este moderador es el encargado de coordinar el encuentro, quien es un representante de CETUS Universidad.
¿Cuáles son los temas de las mesas de diálogo? Gestión de riesgos de desastre, estudiantes por la salud y bienestar, educación inclusiva, igualdad de género, medio ambiente y sustentabilidad, responsabilidad social, emprendimiento social, ciencia y tecnología y garantía de los derechos humanos. En esta edición, los países participantes son Estados Unidos, Suiza, Guatemala, Colombia, Indonesia, Chile, España, India, China y México. La conferencia estelar será impartida por Anuna de Weber, líder estudiantil, activista internacional y coorganizadora de las marchas climáticas en Bélgica. Además, ha contribuido a varias acciones climáticas. También es coautora del libro Somos el Clima.
Adaptándose a las nuevas circunstancias, el conversatorio REDES ha sido concebido para llevarse a cabo a través de la plataforma digital YouTube. Estará abierto para el público en general y será completamente gratuito. Únicamente deberás llenar un formulario que se encontrará en línea a partir de la segunda semana de agosto del año 2021. Para lograr una mayor integración, las mesas de trabajo estarán en el idioma inglés y español, con subtítulos, dependiendo del idioma del expositor.
Hello everyone. CETIS University institution sponsored by the Northwest Educational Institute Civil Association celebrates 60 years of promoting education in Baja California. Embraces this educational project which since its foundation is distinguished by its commitment to contribute to the integral human development. Throughout 6 decades, CETIS has represented a pride for Mexico and the region, forging a space of convergence between society, government, academia, and the business environment. On this anniversary number 60, we continue with our sights set on the future, planning the next developments, meeting the challenges of the pandemic, preparing for the post-pandemic, and responding to new trends to meet our goals. We welcome those who are connected to our series digital platforms and also all the special guests in this hybrid virtual event, following all the corresponding protocols established by the authority. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today. My name is Adrián Medina, and I'm going to be the moderator of this dialogue table, and welcome to REDES, International and Environmental Care. We will be focusing on Sustainable Development Goals number 13, take urgent action to combat climate change and its effects. Goal number 14, conserve and sustainable use the oceans, seas, and marine resources to achieve sustainable development. And goal 15, protect, restore, and promote the sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems. So the aim of this dialogue table is to compare how leaders from different social and cultural backgrounds with differences and similarities confront the challenges they have had and their experiences being part of the leadership of environmental groups. And now I would like to proceed with the introduction of our amazing speakers today. First, we have Aldi Fauzan Akbar, who is an statistician from Indonesia who works for Statistics Indonesia in in East Kalimantan. She has been working for this government institution for almost 4 years. Aside from being a statistician, she also dedicates himself to get involved in the tourism sector in his city and got honored to be a tourism ambassador of intelligence. And not only that, but also he has passion regarding Sustainable Development Goal number 13, climate action. He succeeded to implement his passion and become a co-founder of Young Sea, an environmental care team which consists of 8 young leaders from Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines. Until now, Young Sea had conducted several international webinars and invited experts from all around the world. It's a pleasure to have you here, Aldi. So would you like to introduce yourself in your native language and also in English, please?
Okay, thank you, Adrian. Halo semuanya, perkenalkan nama saya Aldi, saya dari Indonesia. Sekarang saya bekerja sebagai seorang statistisi di Badan Pusat Statistik. Selain seorang statistisi, saya juga merupakan co-founder dari Yangsi, yaitu suatu kelompok pemuda yang memiliki tujuan utama untuk mengurangi limbah sampah di masa pandemi ini. Suatu kehormatan bagi saya sendiri untuk dapat diundang ke acara ini. Terima kasih. Hello everyone, my name is Aldi and I'm from Indonesia. I'm currently working as a statistician in Statistics Indonesia. Aside from being a statistician, I'm also a co-founder of Yangsi, a group of youth which has purpose to tackle mass problem in this pandemic era. It's a huge honor for me to be here and can be part of this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Aldi. So now welcome to Ana Giselle Salazar. Ana Salazar is an industrial engineer and a student of the master's degree in Innovation and Design Engineering at CETIS University. During her career as a student leader, she had the opportunity to be the vice president of Recicali Group, developing projects for the benefit of the community with an environmental awareness approach. She is currently participating in sustainability courses with the purpose of applying them in her daily life. So it's a pleasure to have you here, Ana. Please, would you like also to introduce yourself in your native language, Spanish, and also in English, please?
Okay, hi, I am Ana Giselle, and it's an honor for me to be here and participating in this activity. And as Adrian said, I was the vice president of Recicali last year, and now I'm working as an engineer. And also I'm a student. I try to live my day-to-day in the most sustainable way that I can. And that's one of the reasons I'm here today to talk about this important topic. Hola, soy Ana Giselle. Es un placer para mí estar aquí y participar en esta actividad que sé que ha conllevado mucho trabajo, así que muchas gracias a todos los involucrados en este conversatorio. Y bueno, como ya dije, fue la presidenta de Recicali, del grupo estudiantil Recicali en esta universidad el año pasado y actualmente me encuentro trabajando como ingeniero de mejora continua. Y además también estoy estudiando una maestría. Aparte de esto, trato de hacer todas mis actividades de la manera más sustentable posible y esa es una de las razones por las que estoy aquí. Gracias.
Thank you, Ana. And finally, Denise Alejandra Naranjo. She is an oceanologist and recently graduated as a Master of Science in Marine Ecology. Her academic training has focused on describing the biochemical processes that occur in the marine environment. She has participated as a support in scientific dissemination projects. She is currently co-founder and director of the Human Resources area at ProOceano, a group whose mission is to generate and implement strategies for scientific dissemination, conservation, and research of marine environments, with the purpose of achieving sustainable development and resilience of these ecosystems. Thank you to be here, Alejandra. Also, would you like to introduce yourself in English and in Spanish, please?
Hi, thank you for the invitation. Yes, my name is Alejandra and I am a student. I'm doing my master's degree in marine ecology and I always have focused on describing the different biochemical processes that occur in the marine ecosystem, especially in the coastal environments. And I also co-founder of ProOceano, or an organization with the mission, as Adrian says, of generally implementing strategies for scientific dissemination. And thank you very much for the invitation. Soy Alejandra, actualmente soy estudiante, estoy haciendo mi maestría en ecología marina y pues me he enfocado en describir los procesos bioquímicos que ocurren en los ambientes marinos, especialmente en los costeros. Y pues también soy cofundadora de Proceano, una organización civil con el objetivo de generar información para la divulgación científica sobre los ambientes marinos costeros. Entonces, gracias por la invitación a este conversatorio.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for that wonderful introduction. Now I would like to introduce myself. I'm Adrian Medina, a mechanical engineer working in aerospace industry and also a part of a team of engineers who are researching and developing a system capable of generating electrical power in a sustainable way from the solar radiation of our region. And also during my career as a student leader, I was for 1 year the president of Recicali, leading with Ana Giselle activities in favor of the environment, such as webinars, conferences, recycling activities, among other activities. So, hola, mi nombre es Adel Medina, soy ingeniero mecánico egresado de CITES Universidad. Actualmente trabajo en la industria aeroespacial y también formo parte de otros ingenieros egresados que están en la investigación y desarrollo de un sistema capaz de generar potencia eléctrica a partir de la radiación solar de una manera sustentable. Y también durante mi carrera como estudiante fui por 1 año el presidente de Recicali, al mismo grupo que Ana Giselle, que pues nos encargamos de generar y promover actividades por el cuidado del medio ambiente. Y igual estoy muy emocionado de estar aquí con todos ustedes, así que continuamos. So today I will be the moderator for today's dialogue table, and I will be providing the question which will guide our conversation. So with everything ready, we can start with the first question. We know and celebrate the great work that is done in Yongtze with Aldi, in Proceano with Alejandra, and in Recicali with Ana. Could you please briefly share with us the focus of your mission and its results? Can you start, Aldi, please?
Okay, first of all, I would like to say thank you for inviting me to this international congress. Again, this is an honor for me to be here, and of course, I'm so excited to share with you guys about my experience, especially as part of Yangtze. Maybe a brief explanation about Yangtze. Yangtze is a small group consists of young leaders from Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines. So that's why we call it Yangtze. C means Southeast Asia. And yes, we all come from Southeast Asia country. Our main goal is to tackle mask problem, which has big correlation with the Sustainable Development Goals number 13, which is climate action. We know that in this pandemic era, somehow it's a must that people need to wear the disposable face mask to cover their faces and prevent themselves from the spread of coronavirus. But the problem that caused by the usage of disposable face masks is not a joke. The used mask became waste and contaminated the environment. Not just the land, but of course it's also the air and the water or the marine ecosystem. So because of all these concerns, Yangtze tried to acknowledge people, especially youth generation, by conducting some webinars with the main theme mask problem. We invited several speakers from Indonesia, Jordan, Rwanda, Nigeria, with different backgrounds and show their experience and best practice on tackling the mask problem in their countries.
Thank you, Aldi. So please, Anna, can you share your answer, please?
Yes, the mission is focused on being an agent of change, being able to promote the culture of caring for the environment and the community, especially focusing on the results of activities related to recycling. This is one of the solutions that we have worked with to help change environmental conditions. And with this work, we have been able to participate in talks, workshops, groups, where activities have been promoted for the benefits of the environment and the community. Activities such as collecting materials and also recycling projects.
Thank you, Anna. Alejandra?
Proceano is a non-profit civil association and has, as I say, with the mission to generate and implementing strategies for scientific dissemination and care of marine ecosystem. What we have done so far has been through scientific dissemination, especially in social media. We are focused on providing information about what happens with the marine environments in the coast of Baja California, here in Mexico. And we are having a good response for our followers. We also are giving small talks to students about the ecosystems and the care of the oceans. We also organize beach cleanups, and we try especially to invite the society to participate. We are also working and implement an environmental program, education program for the students, young students. So what we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Alejandra. Yeah, I love the way that each group that you are representing responds to objectives 13, 14, and 15 that will be discussed today. So I appreciate all the amazing work that each of you are doing in these groups. I consider that joining this type of group is one of the best ways to start taking action for our environment. So yes, an advice for everyone that is watching us and doesn't know where to start. Just join to the activities of Recicali, Proceno, Young Sea, or other type of this type, other group of this type. Sorry. So thank you, all of you, for all the work in those groups and for your answer. So we can go now with the second question, which is each participant in this dialogue table works to be an agent of change, and we have one or more common objectives related to the preservation and care of the environment. So what motivates you to pursue these objectives? Ali?
The reason why we want to pursue these objectives is because we want to help our world during this hard time. I mean, we are facing already the impact of coronavirus in the world, and we can say it directly that it's a huge mess, right? So knowing that is a huge mess, we somehow want to do something that can minimize the mess. So we have this motto from Napoleon Hill saying, if you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way. Here we know our capacity is just part of something small, and we know our limitation to overcome the impact of coronavirus. So we want to help, but with our own capacity. We don't really need to do something big, just do some small things, but you really mean it. Small things can be a big thing if a lot of people can do that together, right? So yeah, we hope that the thing that we are doing right now, for example, me and my team in Yangtze, and of course this Congress too, can help our world, especially our environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. Anna?
The change that can be made motivates me, and knowing that I am a part of the change process, I am aware of the importance of conserving the environment, the place where we live. For me, my motivation is to contribute to having a better life, better results for the future environment. And the important motivation for me is to know that I can motivate other people to pursue this common objective of take care of the environment. I think it is one of the best experience that keeps me being an agent of change. The feeling of knowing that you can contribute and build a community with the same goals to benefit.
Thank you, Anna. Alejandra?
The ocean is one of the main reasons. I am an oceanographer, and all these years that I have dedicated to study and all the things that I have learned, and knowing how the world ocean currents distribute the temperature around the world, the chemical composition of the seawater, and everything that makes perfect and makes the earth an amazing place for us, the humans, to live. Really makes me very sad to see how it has declined and how many people are indifferent to these changes. So the ocean is my principal reason to pursue this objective.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to hear all your motivations. And I agree with all of you that I believe that we all must have a motivation to take care of our environment. And I am sure that if we start to analyze our environment and our actions, we will find many more reasons to take care of our planet than reasons to not to. So to find a motivation, I think is not that hard. So we are going to continue with the question number 3, which is, in your experience as a part of the leadership of a community that cares about the environment, what has been the biggest challenge of transmitting the message of environmental awareness? Aldi?
Okay. The biggest challenge for us is people's mindset. In fact, not everyone cares about environment. So trying to find the ways to make people interested to join the webinar or just read and gain information from social media, it's not easy. We need to be different so people can notice us. So the thing that we did to attract people's attention, for example, like trying to show the information interesting, like from the way we make infographic design, like the choosing of words and also the data about the fact. Also, we try to invite the experts from each background, like more people know about the speakers are the experts, they will listen. And then like we try also to give something that might force them to join the webinar, for example, like the certificate, the prize, and etc. Aside from that, we also have the challenge from our internal group. So the fact is, since the group has been created, all our members haven't had the chance to personally meet each other yet. Meaning to say, all the hard work on communication, we do that all virtually. Sometimes it's hard because not every time the internet connection is stable, not everyone has the standard devices to access the internet, and not everyone in this group understand the job perfectly. So yeah, we need to be more patient and can adjust to our current setup.
Thank you, Aldi. Anna?
I think my biggest challenge has been to be a role model, to work with the change of culture in the community. This is because when you are involved in environmental awareness activities and caring about environment, there are some negative comments about some actions or activities that you do, which is judged by not taking the best care of the environmental for certain perspective or their perspective. So the change is not only worrying about being aware of the actions, but also working on how others see your actions. In this matter, the image we project is very important, and it's difficult to maintain.
Thank you, Anna. Alejandra?
I think there is getting people involved, and I think that much of this lack of empathy or interest in the environment comes from a lack of knowledge. I have lived in a coastal city for many years, and I see how many people are not aware of what's happening in their environment. And I think it's not always because they are not interested, but it's more like they have not been able to access to information about what's out there, especially with the oceans. So with social media, at least in Proceano, it has been possible to disseminate the importances of marine ecosystems, and especially because we want to create in the people, in the society, the feeling of belonging to the community and the ecosystem. So we think that people will begin to take care of it is if they know what we have in our coast in our country, especially with the marine ecosystems. So thank you.
Thank you, Alejandra. Yeah, I think the same way as all of you about how difficult it is to transmit the message of caring for the environment. Without a doubt, using social network is a great tool. However, there it's a lot of information that is not always beneficial. So it's important to be different and to get people's attention and get them involved in, as Alejandra said, it's very important to get them involved in the activities so we can start generating uh, some relation between the people and the environment. So yeah, thank you to all of you, and we are going to continue with the next question number four, which is, speaking of goal 13 of the SDH, Sustainable Development Goals, climate change. Urgent, urgent action is needed to combat climate change and its effects. Do you think individual action is enough to achieve this goal? Or does a change in our daily habits really combat climate change? Or should we take several actions? Aldi?
Of course not. As I said earlier, the issues of climate change are not personal issues. It is our issues. And I'm sure that there are some people out there in any countries already did something to combat climate change, either it's individual action or group action. So again, individual action is just a small part, but if we can do that together, some or a lot of individual action can be a big thing, which means it can be a big part to combat climate change. Sorry. The change in our daily habits, of course, can combat climate change, but it's better if we can do if we can do something about it. As long as we are capable of doing something and make it better, then just do it. It's not supposed to be a big thing. Just do something that you can really do, and I think that's enough.
Thank you, Aldi. Anna?
In my personal opinion, each of us can help limit change, help limit climate change and take care of the planet. We can start by making decisions that are less damaging to the environmental, but later we can be part of the solution and influence change. The several actions need to start somewhere, and the more people who join, a greater change can be achieved. Several actions need to be taken, of course, to achieve a change in the situation we currently face, but those actions will not be achieved without individuals who are not aware of their daily actions. So yes, changing our daily habits helps, but it's only the start of this solution.
Thank you, Anna. Alejandra?
Okay, individual action is necessary, but collective action has more weight, as Anna and Ali are saying. I think a well-organized society can create important change in our environment. The issues of climate change is a very complex issue, so it's important us as a society get involved is essential. So I know it's not a simple task, it requires time, effort, but getting involved as community is the first step for fighting the climate change.
Thank you. Yeah, I love that that message that you said about that a lot of individual actions results in big changes. So yeah, let's continue to support the movement with our small actions. And I think it's also very important to demand to large industries or corporations to take action to care for the environment. Because if we don't do it, nobody else will. So yeah, we have to start with these individual actions. Thank you. So we continue with the next questions, which is question number 5. In the role of most of our viewers who are students, how can we contribute to marine conservation?
Okay. Students normally like simple things, right? So simple thing that they can do is not waste the water. The more you waste it, the more it pollutes. The practical things that you might do, such as like use the water wisely when you talk about like be wise to manage your laundry time. Like when you buy something or make something, either it's food or drink, make sure you finish everything and do not waste it, because the leftover or of anything that you eat or drink will go eventually to the environment. And then like you need to be disciplined to sort the trash, like which one is the biodegradable ones and which one is not. The one that are not the biodegradable ones, maybe you can find a way to reuse or reduce or recycle it. Basically, like do not waste anything that you have, just wise to use it. And then like those are just examples. You guys can still do something real about it. Like for example, like us here conducting this sharing discussion about the importance of taking care of our environment, so people can know how to do it in appropriate way. And also you can make a group or go somewhere like literally clean the waste, or you can do the research on how to reduce, reuse, or recycle all the waste and make it more useful. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you, Ali. Anna?
Everyone can contribute first by being aware of our actions, knowing what affects marine conservation and working on it. And as students, we can participate in campaigns, transmit information about this problem in social media, and further actions can be taken through. But also, something important is that you can change your behavior, like how you eat, how you choose where your food comes from. Make sure it comes from an industry that it's not damaging the environment, and industry that is not exploiting resources or in a sustainable way. And we can start in this way.
Thank you, Anna. Alejandra?
I think is to be aware of what is happening around you, especially in environment issues. And I also think if we are aware of how it affects us in the future, we will want to do something to change it. So also it's important to look for people who are doing something and collaborate with them. So as I say, the collective action has more weight in these kind of issues and environment issues.
Thank you, Alejandra. Yeah, as you were saying, as Alejandra said, it's very important to realize what is happening around us, and with that we can realize how urgent action is required in our planets, and also identify that all our actions has an impact in the environment, in the ground, in the oceans, in the ecosystems, so in everything. So thank you. Let's continue with the next questions. Question number 6. If we find ourselves living in cities very far from seas or oceans, how can we contribute to the conservation and cleaning of this?
Yeah, of course, there are a lot of things that we can do to contribute ourselves to the environment, especially to marine ecosystem. As we know that all the problems started with trash. Either it's on land, air, and water, they all started with trash. So the thing that you literally can do is being wise on deciding of what you eat and drink and be responsible for that. Minimize the trash means to minimize the damage. In my condition, as of this year, experts estimate that about 17 billion pounds of waste are still being dumped in the ocean. And with this pandemic, it is highly probable that most of these waste, including used face mask, I believe, switching to as simple as reusable face mask and be wise on using the disposable face mask will significantly help reduce the used mass that we throw away, which eventually ends floating and polluting our oceans.
Thank you, Ali. Anna?
Okay, I repeat, becoming aware of our actions. First investigate what action I do that affects environment, We might live miles from a sea or ocean, but even so, everything that we use indirectly ends up in the ocean or sea affect it regardless of the distance. Something simple we can do is to take care of the products that we pour into the drains and that go into the ocean. Taking action or consumption is an important factor because it is the cause of the problem, and really it's the cause. And if we work to reduce it, we will be able to contribute the conservation and be part of the change.
Thank you so much, Ana. Alejandra?
There is a phrase or a hashtag that is El mar empieza en casa, which means the sea begins at home. And I think that is a phrase that we can remember every day and makes us aware of the waste that we generate can affect the oceans. Not only the solid waste, but also the waste we throw down the drain. We need to look for alternatives and implement them. For example, start recycling, do not throw oil down the drain, do not throw trash on the street. Many of the chemicals contained in the cleaning products are harmful for the ecosystem, like chlorine. So I also think that this information about these things is a very powerful tool. So to start looking for our oceans and our environments.
Thank you, Alejandra. Yeah, we were talking about the actions to take care of the ocean, and it's curious how something as simple as separating our garbage or reducing our waste has a great impact on the ocean, since eventually our waste will end up on the ground or in the ocean. So yeah, this means that each of us can take actions for the care of the oceans, and no matter how far or near we are from it. So let's go with question number 7, which is the objectives discussed in our dialogue tables seek solutions for three problems: climate change, the deterioration of terrestrial ecosystems, and the deterioration of underwater life. Which of these three problems do you consider is the most urgent to work on it? And of course, why?
Okay. Actually, this is hard. This is a hard question. I don't really know what to say. As I can see, the three problems are highly correlated: land to water to climate. If we can see the order, I can say that the most urgent one is the deterioration of terrestrial ecosystem, I think, because that's where all this started. That's where people live. So by saving and taking care of our terrestrial ecosystem, indirectly we also save the underwater life and the climate change. Yeah.
Thank you, Ali. Anna?
I think that none of these problems can be downplayed. Each one has its repercussions and affect us, but since I have been working with the tree, because of the facts and information that I learned, I consider the deterioration of terrestrial ecosystems, and not because it's more important. I consider it because this problem can lead to affect or accelerate the affectation of the other two problems, and it is a problem that has more factors such as the ecosystem preservation and more changes and in consequence more repercussions.
Thank you, Anna. Alejandra?
So the problem of climate change is a very complex issue. So involves many things, and I know climate change cannot be stopped or avoided. So and many of the problems we are facing today are consequences of climate change. So I think that the best thing we can do is face the consequences and adapt to the changes that are coming from. And also looking for solutions to the problems like, I don't know, deterioration on the water life, for example, and faces that problems. I know that many of those solutions depend on governments, no? So here's where a society are to watch and make sure that happens, to make pressure to the governments and start to face the consequences. It's not another options. Thank you.
Thank you, Alejandra. Yeah. Mm, I must confess that I did not notice the obvious relation between each of the objectives until you mention it, that how all these objectives are correlated, and I realized that it's not about which objective is which ob sorry, I realized that it's not about which objectives to answer first. It is about how can we find the root of the problem and find a solution for it. So we're going to continue with a question number 8, our last question, which is how can we promote environmental awareness in our communities in a lasting way, not just momentary? Aldi?
Um, they say it takes 20 days to make a habit and 90 days to make it as a permanent lifestyle change, right? So as individuals, what we perhaps can contribute to amplify the environmental awareness aside from doing it ourselves, also making a habit in sharing conservation videos or posts in social media. I think in this way, somehow we will be able to ensure the issue is more visible, relevant, and actively being talked about. Everyone that is listening right now has the responsibility to make people understand that climate change is real. It's happening as we breathe, and we need to take immediate and consistent action to conserve the only livable planet we know this for. Yeah.
Thank you, Aldi. Anna?
With information, of course, but not information about the problem or solutions. I think information that help to a culture change, because culture change is the real challenge. Change is not really achieved until the community is pursued to improve to the importance of the causes. Adopting a culture of awareness is not easy. You need to perseverance, awareness, exercise, but more important, you need to create environmental awareness, and in order to do that, you need to be in contact with the affected areas, and the people need to see what is happening and compare it with what the result will be if they take action and change their behaviors.
Thank you, Anna. Alejandra?
I think that is through education, but I know we face a problem of social inequality, and not all the people have access to the same educational opportunities as I did. And reaching those people is not easy, but it's important to taking long-term actions, especially with the climate change right now. So, through educations.
Yeah, thank you, Alejandra. Um, as all you were saying, yeah, these are big challenges that we must face nowadays. We have to make sure the education that receives the new generations are related to the environmental care, because and not just in a momentary way, or not just go and clean the ocean or clean the ground. We have to focus on the education in a lasting way. So when this new generation uh, are adults, their actions and all the activities that they all do are related to environmental awareness. So yeah, we have to create a culture to start habits and then convert and then get them into a way of living. And yeah, start with a little with a group with maybe not too much people, but while the time is passing, these groups can uh, get bigger and bigger. So yeah, start the solution with something little, uh, not something just momentary. It's important to be in a lasting way. So yeah, this was the last question, and thank you all of you for this final message. As I say, this was the last question that we have. So I would like to end this conversation saying thank to all of you for sharing your point of view, and all of your commentaries have been really helpful for everyone that is watching us. So do you have any last words or message that you would like to give to our audience, Aldi?
Okay. I just want you guys to remember this line again from Napoleon Hill. If you cannot do great things, do small things in a great way. Meaning, it's okay to start everything by just doing small things. But if you want it to be great, then do it in a great way. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Aldi. Anna, any last words or message you want to share?
Okay. And these problems have been investigated for years. There is a lot of information. We already have the facts and some solutions. So the only that we have to do is to wake up, take actions, and change. And my last comment is, if you have the opportunity to be related in a student group or any group, take it. You will not regret it. It is a good way to learn and receive information through other people's experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. And finally, Alejandra.
I would like to invite the people to get involved, even in a small way. There is a lot of information about what's happening right now, so start to reading and get involved what's happening around you in your community, in your local city. Just get involved.
Yeah, thank you. So to all the people that are watching us, just get involved in this type of activities and take care of the environment, please. So I would like to read this recognition for all of you, which it says, CETIS University on its anniversary number 60 awards this certificate to Ana Salazar in recognition for your valuable contribution to REDES, International Conversatory of Student Leadership, on November 18 in 2021. So the same recognition is for you, Ana, for you, Alejandra, and of course for you, Aldi. So thank you, all of you. Thank you for being agents of change who seek a better world for everyone and for the new generations. And yeah, and the world urgently needs people like you. And thank you very much to the people who are watching us. I hope you enjoy it and have a great day. Goodbye.